America's very first U.S.-built offshore wind service operations vessel recently launched from the Port of New Orleans. The project underscores findings in a new wind supply chain study that outlines Louisiana's competitive advantage in the emerging offshore wind energy industry. In my continuing coverage, Winds of Change, I toured Port Fourchon, the operational base for Louisiana's first wind turbine, to bring you up to speed on offshore wind energy efforts.
You're looking at the site of Louisiana's first wind turbine at Port Fourchon in Lafourche Parish, which aims to be a national leader servicing the offshore wind energy industry.
So this is a 250 by 250 foot block, and it'll be set to the back side of the property, right? And that'll be 187 feet from the base all the way to the tip of the blade, and that'll be that wind turbine that'll be used for data collection and studying, as well as the Port Commission hoping to offtake the power of 200 to 300 kilowatts for our facilities here.
Gulf Wind Technology is assembling the turbine at its Avondale shipyard, which I recently toured for a behind-the-scenes look at the company's wind energy research, development, and workforce training efforts. The wind turbine will sit in Port Fourchon's new coastal wetlands park, 100 acres of marsh created from dredging new port developments.
So this coastal wetlands park, this is just the beginning. We're going to build a kind of an elevated lookout tower sort of thing that's going to have displayed kind of panel boards of the type of habitat you see, right? What birds you might see here, what fish you might see here, what type of plants and trees and shrubs.
One of Louisiana's first 2 offshore wind leases in state waters resides near Port Fourchon. The Diamond offshore wind site spans approximately 6,000 acres.
So where are we?
We are in Slip C, right at the edge of the bulkhead, standing on the right of first refusal area that Crowley Wind has. So this facility here, they have a right of first refusal on 2,300 linear feet of waterfront, with 43 acres associated with that waterfront. So this could be, if that turns into a lease, the first Gulf of Mexico offshore wind service facility, specifically dedicated for offshore wind.
A new report commissioned by the Louisiana legislature examines the state's potential to capitalize on wind energy.
The report makes very clear that unique and special advantage that the state has when it comes to offshore wind.
Courtney Durham-Shane is with the Pew Charitable Trust, an independent, nonprofit, non-governmental organization that conducted the wind supply chain study.
Over 450 businesses have strong potential, have the strong capabilities to provide the goods and services necessary for the offshore wind industry across the United States. 15 Louisiana companies have already been a cornerstone of the early offshore wind industry in the United States. The report finds over 60,000 workers employed in industries adjacent to offshore wind in the state have the type of transferable skills that you'd want to see for the offshore wind industry. Things like welders, mariners, riggers. Many of the job types and skills that Louisianans have are applicable to the offshore wind industry.
Wind energy workforce training is picking up speed, with Nunez Community College in Chalmette launching Louisiana's first degree program in the wind energy industry. Enrollment starts in fall 2024 for the community college's Wind Energy Technology program.
By leveraging those existing assets, that infrastructure, workforce, business networks, Louisiana can become a leading player in the United States and potentially even globally for offshore wind development. And we're very hopeful that this new report can help to illuminate that pathway to help the state maximize on the potential of the offshore wind industry.
Meanwhile, improvements are underway at Port Fourchon to service deep-water offshore wind turbines in the Gulf of Mexico. The port plans to deepen Bell Pass, that's the main entrance to the port, to 50 feet, and build a bridge connecting Fourchon Island, a 900-acre development to service the offloading of equipment for the offshore wind market.
This is not an energy transition. This is an energy addition, right? We need more energy in our country, in the world.
Port Fourchon services 100% of the Gulf of Mexico's deep water assets that produce 18% of the domestic oil supply. Managed by the only elected port commission in Louisiana, Port Fourchon is capitalizing on its geographical position and experienced workforce to serve as the nation's demonstration project for the potential of offshore wind energy.